You know this birthright thing that Trump was floating?
Yeah.
Where he said he wanted to eliminate essentially birthright citizenship.
Right.
And everyone went, oh, you can't. It requires a constitutional amendment. It requires, Constitution. And I said, wait a minute. I said, we have the 14th Amendment that defines citizenship a certain way. The guys in 1870 that put together the 14th Amendment never imagined pregnant women flying in an aircraft in some tin can over the ocean and landing here for an afternoon, having a baby, and then returning home. This was not even there was no possibility of them even thinking about what is happening today with some of these birthright behaviors.
Oh, I'm with you.
So hold on. So
yes.
I said, why can't we have a modification of the application of the 14th Amendment? The 14th Amendment does not need to be modified. It's just how it's operationalized, how it's interpreted needs to be further clarified, much the way the First Amendment is clarified that you can't yell fire you are free to have speech.
Go, Drew.
Can't yell fire in a crowded theater.
Yes.
That's you can't do that.
Right.
Even though you have the First Amendment. They didn't change the First Amendment when they came up with that interpretation.
Yeah.
They just said that's operationally how the First Amendment will be applied. And we need something like that for the 14th Amendment, do we not?
Well, it's a couple things. First things first. I think it was originally created for slaves, right?
Yeah, it was to make sure their citizenship was protected.
Right, so that's a good thing. And then I think it went on to say, but that doesn't hold true for diplomats.
Right, something like that.
Something like that, which is, maybe Gary can look it up, but meaning, hey, if you're born in this country to a slave, we want you to have citizenship.
Right.
If you come here on a boat from Britain or wherever, Spain, and you're like a Democrat, you're a aristocrat, and your wife's pregnant at the time, and your kid is born technically on the soil. That doesn't mean they're a citizen.
Right.
Which all right, that makes that sounds like actually good and good. But again, the slave should be that. And
but they thought of it because that kind of thing was conceivable to them at the time.
Well, I get birth tourism from China.
Yes.
Wasn't something that anyone could think of.
Right.
And I would say to folks on the left who are saying this, I would take the same argument that they make on the Second Amendment. Was it right to bear arms? Which one is that?
Yes.
Second? Mm-hmm. They go, the founding fathers couldn't have conceived of AR-15s. Mm. Okay. So here's something else they couldn't have conceived of. Mm-hmm. As long as we're going down the road of can't conceive, certainly they may not. I'll bet you they could have conceived an AR-15. That musket fires multiple rounds.
More likely than a can flying over the ocean.
From China.
Yeah.
And doing that. So, okay. So let's break down the game film. I'm with you in that they couldn't have conceived and they couldn't conceive. And speaking of contraception, right, and conceiving. So it's a weird thing. Then the other argument is no other civilized nation would engage in this. Well, as it turns out, all of Europe has this rule in place.
Right.
And now Canada doesn't, which doesn't help our cause, but most other nations do have this. I think these are close guesstimates, but out of 250 nations, only 34 have this. Mm-hmm. So it's not the majority of the world, when they do. There's this argument that you always hear on CNN, which is everyone else does this but us. Mm-hmm. To be fair, Trump says no one else does this but us. The truth is somewhere in between.
Yep.
If you hear the list of nations that do this, it is a rogues gallery of places you don't want to live.
Right. And
then there's Canada. Mm-hmm. Canada, if Gary, if you find the nations that do, in fact, there's Canada, and then there's a whole bunch of places you wouldn't want to live that I would say, how would you describe it if you were looking for this list?
Birthright, countries that provide birthright citizenship. In the meantime, let me tell you about True Car. Give you some tips. Put air in those tires. As you say, Adam, it's like trying to ride a bicycle uphill with low tire pressure. Forget it.
No, it's like trying to ride a bicycle with low tire pressure.
That's what I said.
You said uphill, though.
So
you don't even have to add that part.
Yeah.
It's just hard.
You know what it is? You know what that is? I've had that. I used to live on a hill, and I would always try to get home with whatever tire pressure. And when I got to the hill, it's like, oh shit, impossible. Remove excess weight from the car. Also an important move. Here's another tip. I hope you know. True Car also helps people get used cars with a True Car certified dealer network and a nationwide inventory of nearly 1 million used cars. You're going to enjoy real pricing, true pricing on actual inventory. That is when you lock in that price, you look at that scattergram, you're locking in a price for a vehicle on a True Car certified dealer's lot. It's a simpler buying experience, whether you buy new or used. See what others paid. You know you're getting a good price for buying. You also know that the True Car certified dealers compete for your business. So it's a good price and it's a fast buying experience, faster certainly by reconnecting with that True Car certified dealer. So when you're ready to buy new or used, check out True Car and enjoy a more confident car buying experience. Some features not available in all states.
Gary's got the list of nations.
You want me to just read it off here?
Yeah, because they're pretty funny, right?
It's
Canada.
Yeah, it's in alphabetical order. Antigua and Bermuda, Argentina, Barbados, Belize, Bolivia, Brazil, Canada, Chile, Cuba, Dominica, Ecuador, El Salvador, Fiji, Grenada, Guatemala, Guyana, Honduras, Jamaica, Mexico, Nicaragua, Panama, Paraguay, Peru, St. Kitts and Nevis, St. Lucia, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Trinidad and Tobago, United States, Uruguay, Venezuela.
So it's only this hemisphere.
Where are all the progressive Europeans?
Yeah, where are they?
You know how we look toward like
India and Asia?
But it's always like Finland's always a model for everything, like healthcare and all that kind of stuff. Like the Finnish people, the Danish people don't.
This has to have been part of NAFTA or something because it's every single country in our hemisphere. You know what I mean? It has to have been some sort of an agreement that all these countries agreed on. It's all North and South America, including the Caribbean.
Well, I just go straight to Europe. Like if you ever talk to my mom about politics, she'll always go, "It's this in Sweden, okay. In Sweden, okay. That you know what they have in Sweden?
Everything.
But if you have a baby,
Nirvana
if you have a baby in Sweden, the neighboring family gets 6 years off of work, full pay." Full pay. No, I'm not talking about the family.
No, the neighbors.
I'm talking about neighboring.
Because the kid might get sick or the mother might get sick, needs help.
If you have that baby in an apartment, everyone on your floor doesn't have to go to work for the next 6 years. Full pay, full benefit. I love it. It's so funny. Like if you ever talk to my mom or anyone else, all their utopias loosely based around getting paid for not doing anything.
Right.
They get 26 weeks vacation a year. Fully paid. The Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost get full maternity for 9 years.
Let's compare her to
You don't have to ever go into work. It's like, it's like, hey, there's this place over here. First off, you don't have to fill out an application. You're automatically employed when you're born, and you stay home and get paid. It is weird how their utopias all based around the theme of never really working. And getting paid.
Has your mom ever met Mark Argos? I wonder what you would think.
They partied together in the early 80s.
I wonder how that interaction would go. You know what I mean?
I don't know, but anyway, if you're going to use Sweden and Finland and whatever as a model for societies that take care of everyone and take care of their own, and the utopian societies, we should find out about the birther thing, right?
Sure.
Okay.
What went wrong there?
Let's see.
Well, if you're going to take care of everybody, you certainly don't want more people coming in.
After Ireland made a change in 2004, a lot of countries, by the way, changed. Like
changed back away.
New Zealand had it, but up until 2006, and then
India in 2008, another example.
Yeah, no European country grants citizenship based on unconditional terms anymore. They changed. Yeah. All right. Well, you can. I think you and I.
If they're going to give unlimited sort of care to their population, they can't expand the population because they won't be able to pay for these people.
My mom says they can pay
no matter what. Yeah.
Well,
they
actually,
just
she
print
said
the money,
Dr.
right?
Drew should pay.
They just print the money. You don't have to even do anything. Just print the money.
She said you and Gergos can pay. You should send your money to Swedes. I think you and I are the same way, which is our nation needs to be fair.
Yeah.
We can't be cruel.
No.
And we can't impose whatever on other nations and whatever on whatever and what have you. But when you see people going, look, what's going on in Guatemala and Central America, if we go over there and fix that, we wouldn't have all these migrants. And I'm sort of like, well, I don't know that we have to go.
Well,
I would like good schools here, and I would like good roads, and I'd like to help out in when world wars break out. But I don't know that it's our job to go to Guatemala and fix things.
Well, here's the argument.
I'm
with you, but here's the argument I've had to people. They go, we had the CIA in there. We destroyed their governments and blah, blah, blah. We caused this problem, and that's why there's a civil war. I go, okay, you're on. You're on. I agree with you. Now what?
Right.
Well, we need to go down there and fix things. Like, no, that's how we got in trouble.
Right.
And they don't want us there. It's a sovereign nation, and they don't want us there. So,
but
now
also,
what? Now what? Now what do we do?
Go down there and fix things is like just means get some pallets and send over some money, which never.
Which if it's a corrupt government, it's not going to work. And they, of course, don't want us around to try to deal with that corruption.